Now in this demo, we're going to be cloning some code from a GitHub repository. Now that code's going to include a Python web service app that uses the Oracle DB Python driver. We'll be testing that Python code and running SQL using Visual Studio Code against the Oracle database, and then we'll push the code into GitHub, which will trigger a Github Action that will build a container and push it into the Oracle Container Registry. Now, we won't show it in this demo, but then you could use that container in an Oracle Cloud service. Okay, this is Visual Studio Code. We're going to go to the Visual Studio Code Marketplace, type in Oracle, and install Oracle Developer Tools for VS Code extension. After we install, you'll see this database icon here and our Oracle Explorer. Now we'll need a database. It's easy to get an always free Oracle Autonomous database. Here in the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Tree Control, you can click on this gear icon and it'll take you to a web page that'll show you how you can easily create an Oracle Cloud account. Once you've done that, you can follow the rest of the instructions to set up your configuration. It'll integrate here in Visual Studio Code. You can easily create your first autonomous database by right-clicking and selecting Create New. It will open up a Create Autonomous Database dialog, and you just need to provide your database name and the password that you want to use. And that's it. It will create it in a matter of minutes. Now, I already have one here called My Always Free, and you can see some of the options that are available to you for managing your autonomous database instance. Another option is to use Oracle Database Express Edition, the free edition, locally on your laptop. We're going to be doing this in the demo. You just click on the little gear icon here next to the Database Explorer, and it will take you to a web page that will show you how to get it installed. Once you've got the database installed, you can click the plus icon to open up the connection dialog. You can fill in the details and the connection will be shown here in Oracle Database Explorer. Now I've already got an instance installed here, but I don't have anything in it. So let's go ahead and go to my GitHub repo. Here's my GitHub repository with the files we're going to be cloning into VS Code for our demo. Let's go to VS Code again, and I'll press F1, choose Git Clone. I'll clone from GitHub and provide the repository name. I'll select the local folder I'll be pulling the files into. These files that we've cloned include a Python file, a Docker file, and a couple of SQL scripts. Let's take a look at one of the SQL scripts. This one generates the schema that we're going to be using and inserts some data into it. The nice thing is it's automatically associated with our extension and the connection that we've created. So all we need to do is select Execute All, and it will run the script. Now let's take a look at the stored function SQL script. You can see it's a couple of stored functions that return table data as JSON objects or a JSON array. Let's go ahead and run this. And we can take a look in the Database Explorer here and see that, yes, it has created tables as well as our stored functions. Now let's go ahead and open up a new SQL script and try some ad hoc SQL. We'll type select from employees and then go back and hit the space bar, and it will use IntelliSense to let us choose all columns. And then we'll click this format icon here. And you can see it's done a nice job formatting our SQL. You can hover over individual select list items to see the metadata for them. We'll hit Control E to execute the query. The data is in a nice grid control that lets you save in different formats. Now that same autocomplete in IntelliSense also works with stored procedures and functions. Let's make a call to one of our stored functions, get department by emp ID. Now you see when I hit enter, it provides a parameter list. I can type in the employee ID, say 100, add from dual, and execute it, and you can see the result is a JSON object executive. Okay, now let's take a look at the Python application. We're using Python for this demo, but you could have just as easily used any language such as Java, .NET, Node.js, etc. And this Python application is using Flask and exposing a couple of web services that are returning Oracle table data. We are calling those stored functions I showed you earlier. For data access, we're using the python-oracledb driver. You can see the import oracledb command here. And we're going to need to install the Python OracleDB driver using this command here. So let me open up a terminal and run that command. You can see how fast it is to install this driver. Now, going back to the code, you can see that we have some environment variables called Python username, Python password, and Python connect string. And this is being used here when we create the connection pool. So where did those environment variables come from? Well, in Visual Studio Code, we put them in the launch.json. We already have my username and password here. We just need the connection string. So we can get that by going to my Oracle Explorer connection and viewing the connection dialog. I can copy the connect string and then go back to the launch.json and paste it in there. And now let me save my work. All right, now let's quickly run the app to see it in action. I'll say run without debugging, and you can see that it's listening here. We can click this suggested link, and you can see that it does return a JSON array of employees based on the department number of 90. We can change that to 100 and get a different set of values. Okay, now let's take advantage of the really cool Visual Studio Code debugger. We can go down here in the code and set a breakpoint or two on the web service. And then we can go to the Oracle Database Explorer and open up the stored function and set a breakpoint there as well. Now let's start the debugger. We'll say run, start debugging. And then we'll go to the web browser and kick off the web service. And you can see that the breakpoint is hit in the Python code. And now let's hit F10 to step into the PL SQL. There we are. We're in the PL SQL code, debugging it, and we can pop back out, right back into Python. That's very powerful. Now, as we mentioned at the beginning of this demo, we want to use Github Actions to build our application into a container and push it into the Oracle Container Registry. So I have a Docker file here, and you can see that it's using our Python app and building a container that runs it with Python. And then we have the YAML file here for the Github Action. You can see that it's logging into the container registry using my secrets, and then it's building the Docker file and pushing it into my container registry. We'll go to the web browser and open up the Cloud Console, and you can see I do have this container registry here, and it was last updated 4 hours ago. So let's kick off the GitHub action by making a small modification to the code and pushing it into the repository. So I'll get rid of that comment, save my work, and I'll try to commit the change. I'll go ahead and provide the change log. And then I'll sync my changes. This will push it into GitHub. So let's go to the GitHub website and click on the Actions tab. And we can see that the Publish action has started. And now it's completed. So that should have pushed the container up into the registry. Let's take a look. All right, I'm going to go ahead and refresh it. And there it is. It has been pushed into the registry.